Hey, what's up? I'm Pascal from... Let's do that again. Hey, what's up? I'm Pascal from Orangepixel. Welcome to another video. Right now, recording this on Monday, and my game went live last Thursday, Regulators. I talked about that game last week, and for the last couple of years, I talked about it very frequently. Not going into all of that again. It's very easy to check out what this game is about. It's a top-down shooter. You have a buddy walking around with you, sometimes two, sometimes three buddies walking around with you, and you take out a bunch of mutated villains in buildings. A top-down shooter. Go check it out if you haven't already. This video, we're gonna dive into the launch. This is like a little post-launch video. I had some questions from some of you. I asked for questions, so I got some questions. I'm gonna answer them. Just talk a little bit about how the launch went and how these things go. It's not my first game. If you're new to the channel, because I know videos like this tend to draw in new viewers. Hi, Pascal, Orangepixel. Been doing game development full-time as an indie game developer since 2004. Have a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and I've just used these videos to dump it out there on you as a viewer and the weird guy in the back. So let's talk about stuff after the intro. Alright, if you're here just for sales numbers, this is not that kind of video, but here you go. Right now we are at a little over 200 sales in the first 4 days. Roughly 4 days. That's not a lot. I'll get into that in a minute. Also, if you're now diving into the comments, wanting to tell me the game quality is terrible or whatever your thoughts and feelings are for this, it's not. It's a good game, but it is not a game for everybody. Also, the prettier your game is, the more shiny your game is in 3D and whatnot, the better it sells, the easier it is to sell to people. People like shiny things, but I use low resolution graphics. That's what I've been doing for so many years, but the game is good. Doesn't matter how it looks, or actually it looks pretty good in terms, but I want to do this unedited, so I'm gonna try and do this. Look, it doesn't. Pixel art is for a certain audience, and there are many examples of games that look like this that do very well. There is an audience of maybe 1 million, couple 100,000, more than enough to sustain a developer creating games like this. So it's not about the game. If that's what you think in the current market, that it's all about how a game looks and graphics, it's simply not. If it was that easy, we would all make extremely beautiful 3D games and everybody would be extremely rich. But we are even looking at AAA games that are costing billions to create, not making money. So it's not about how things look. It's about reaching the audience that actually likes what you're selling. And that's the hard part, and it has become harder and more difficult in the recent years, but it's always been difficult. Right now there are just a lot of options out there. There are other games releasing, launching that look similar, and it might just have a little bit more marketing budget, and everybody only has a tiny budget, so they will pick one of these two games, and then you already lost a sale. So that's really the difficult thing about the market. Make the type of games you want to make. There is always an audience out there. Just try to make sure that the amount of time you put into a game reflects the amount of money you can make in the current market. I talked about that, how this game was doomed from, well, not doomed, but it's certainly going to be very difficult to make it profitable. But check last week's video about that, the whole story on it. For now, we launched the game with 4,100 wishlist on Steam. That's not enough. Preferably you want to sit around 7,000. You can actually be a little bit lower. Last year I released Gauntlet of Power at 6,800, I think, maybe even less, but already got into the top lists with 5k wishlist, and then it just moved quickly to around 7,000 the moment I launched. So it's important, those wishlist numbers, to get into the most wanted new popular game list on Steam. The trick there is, of course, that if there are, let's say the list is 10 games long, if your game is there with 7k wishlist, but there are 12 games that have 20,000 wishlists, the 7 is not going to be enough. You'll be bumped out of the list. So it's a mix of having enough wish lists while also finding a gap in the schedule of game releases where your competition most likely has less wish lists than you have. Sadly for me, Regulators just had to be released. I did not have a lot of flexibility. I needed this game to get to go out the door. It was done, it was ready to go. And also for my mental state, I just needed this game done and released. It had to be released. So not a huge amount of flexibility there. Also, the wishlist had been at 3,900 for the last couple of months. Lowering and increasing a little bit here and there. Only the last couple of days before launch, it boosted with about 200 extra wish lists. Probably because it became into the upcoming releases list, I think. Haven't seen it there, which is a weird thing that happened on Steam, but out of my control. I couldn't spot it anywhere in any list, and had some of you tell me they couldn't see it. Not sure what went wrong there, but those things are out of my control, so I cannot magically press a button so that Steam fixes it, sadly. So yeah, not enough wishlist to launch, but it had to be done, and I knew based on that it wasn't gonna do extreme waves, and not a lot of people outside that wishlist bubble or outside my social media bubble would see the game. But I'm in it for the long term and not just for a launch window of the first few weeks. So that's also very important. As I said, we're now a little over 200 sales 4 day in. We are at 100% positive rating. I think we have now 20, yeah, we got 25 votes, 100% positive. Thanks for everybody who left a review and left a vote, not a vote, a review and a rating. Thanks for everybody who did that. If you played the game and you like it, please add to that, because the more it increases the amount of reviews, the more the Steam system starts kicking in a bunch of things so that a game gets into the what you might like, or whatever the list is called for other people on Steam. More like those lists. It will appear more often if it has a higher amount of reviews and still a very positive or positive rating. That's why reviews are important, and humans are weird in that if we like something, we enjoy it, but if we don't like it, we want to tell everybody else that we don't like it. So people who don't like a game are frequently or more often dropping a review than people who do like a game, because they're just playing the game and forget to actually mention it somewhere. So that's just interesting facts. Let's look at a couple of the questions. Do you feel the launch went as expected? Yes, I guess. Look, it's always going to be, unless your game does huge amount of numbers, and that's everybody's dream, but that rarely happens, so it's always a little bit of a bummer to just look at the reviews, and they were very slowly climbing to, I think we had 10 reviews pretty quickly, although the first day it was stuck at 2 or 3, but then people started playing it and reviewing it, so it went slower than I wanted. And it's disappointing to see the current sales numbers. I'll be honest about that. Wanted a lot more. Gauntlet of Power did a lot more, very much faster, but it also had more wish lists, and it had a Steam Next Fest on the just before its launch. I didn't have that for Regulators either. So a lot of things that I knew were not ideal caused the current launch. So it was not extremely unexpected, but it was still a bummer. Right now it's still a bummer. I want to see more sales numbers. I want this game to be played by more players. I think it's a pretty good game. It's one of my best, maybe. Not sure. But it ranks high in the list of Orangepixel games. So yeah, the launch went as expected, but it was still a disappointment. That's probably the best answer I can get to that question. How many bought it in the first 24 hours? Not sure if that's important, but the first 24 hours we had about 130 sales. So most people that bought the game did it in the first 24 hours. I haven't looked at all the statistics, but I'm guessing that's a lot of people who had it on their wish list, and a lot of people who were following me on this channel or social medias or Discord somewhere. So I'm pretty sure those were mostly people that I reached on my own. And that's probably where the problem lies right now. I did everything that you need to do. I mailed a lot of press emails out there. I did newsletters. I have about 6,000 subscribers on my newsletter. I kind of messed up the first one where I had a read more link that was missing a slash, and I had a lot of people replying to that email telling me about it. Like if I can put out a patch to an email, that would be awesome, but sadly I couldn't change it. So I actually pushed a second newsletter on Friday, 2 days later, saying, I'm sorry, this went wrong, this is a proper link, but also some more information about the game and everything that happened, a more personal email instead of a promotion email. I of course contact a bunch of YouTubers, streamers. I think only one replied, Clemmy, who usually does overview videos, so I'm hoping at some point it will be in one of those videos, not sure. None of the other YouTubers replied. And this is not just the big YouTubers. There were smaller YouTubers that have a smaller channel and smaller reach than I have on my YouTube channel. I figured they did a great job on showing Gauntlet of Power back then, very supportive of that game. So I decided that it would be cool to send them a key for this game as well. Now it might be possible, I did this a little more than a week before its launch. So it could be that I should have done that sooner, but the game wasn't ready at that point. And that's what maybe the biggest thing and biggest mistake, or a planning mistake, schedule mistake. And not a mistake, but I didn't have a lot of flexibility right now to do it better, and that just happens. I'm hoping there will be actual YouTube videos coming from at least the smaller ones. Also plan on doing a new outreach to them this week. I will send them a playtest, Steam playtest key. I'm gonna send them an actual release key. Look, the Steam playtest version is still up there, it's still working. I wanna remove it so that it's not available anymore, but I do want them to keep playing it or have the option to play it. Also, in my head, this is a little sneaky thing that it allows me to check on them again, to say, hey, you had a playtest key before, just in case you might have some time for it now, or maybe you forgot about this email, here's an actual release key. I don't know, I'm just gonna do it, and I know that some of those YouTubers will be angry about, hey, we get so much email spam. That's kind of part of your business. Like as soon as I pressed the launch button on Regulators, my email box was full of Steam curators wanting one or more Steam keys. That's a lot of spam. I don't need it either, but that's kind of part of the business. So if you're a YouTuber and you're complaining about developers contacting you and reaching out to you, yeah, I'm sorry, but that's just part of your business. That's really, be glad that people want you to play their game. You don't have to play their game, but if nobody wants you to play their game, you probably also means you don't have a good audience for it. So success and everything, it belongs together. So a spam, sadly, spam like that, it's not real spam, but annoying emails like that are part of your business. Deal with it like game developers do. Next question, what would you have done differently launch-wise? Planning, schedule. I would have preferred to have more time to plan it all out. You kind of think I would, but Next Fest is coming in June already, so that's a bad time to release. July, August, usually not a very good time to release. Then you have September, but yeah, that's many months away already, and then October is another Next Fest, and then the holiday season starts. It's very difficult to find a right spot to launch your game. Probably, maybe I could have found a better spot later in the year, but also mentally, this is a mental thing. I had to get this game out the door because it's constantly looming over me. I've been working on other games. I've been working on Space Grunts 3 already. I did Gauntlet of Power, but this game was always there. It needed to be done. And that makes it very hard to focus fully on another game or title or all the other stuff I have going on, updating all my projects, implementing Epic Game Services, things like that. So many things that need attention, but it felt wrong to give it that attention with this game still there and unreleased. And right now it's actually, I feel relieved that the game is out, and it's not doing extreme numbers yet. It's not doing very well, but it's out there. And that has been a huge relief for me, which allows me to do a lot more things again during the day, I hope, I think. So yeah, if I had the time and the chance to do it better, I would have changed the release schedule and just give YouTubers more time to look at the game, and even give me some time to follow up on that. But also, yeah, press releases, finding maybe a better spot in the agenda to release it. Now I did it on a Wednesday, which is, I think most games release on Mondays. Today, there are a lot of games releasing today. Not sure how that goes with a bank holiday. It might actually be a good thing, might be a bad thing, but a lot of games release on either, I think, Monday or a Thursday. And I went with the Wednesday just to see if that did anything. I'm luckily in a position where I have a lot of games and I can always experiment and do things a little bit different just to see if it works, if it sticks or not. So I think it was very noticeable that not a lot of people have time to game on a Wednesday. So next time, ignore the Wednesday if you're going to release a game. I noticed a lot of people wanted to pick it up, but they would do it closer to the weekend. So Thursday, Friday, they would pick up the game. And on Wednesday, that's why it was at 2 or 3 reviews from the beginning for the first day, I think. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the exact dates and stats, and I can't ask everybody why they picked it up until Thursday. But I think Wednesday is just not a good time to release a game for some reason. So that would have been done different. Scheduling, and yeah, you need to take time to release your game. So finish your game and then make sure you have a lot of time to just do things in terms of marketing and press outreach. Okay, other question. Why no localization? I did that on Gauntlet of Power, and yes, it's very easy to do these days with AI, but a lot of the AI translations, especially for like game words, little things, little sentences, short things, those translations are just kind of crap in most cases. So localization for most countries, easy to do. Steam store page, I might actually go in and do that this week just to have the store page completely localized, because that's longer text and easier for AI to do it properly. But game-wise, interface text, things like that, it's been crap. I might get the person who did the Chinese version of Gauntlet of Power to do a Chinese version for Regulators, because the Chinese sales numbers have been interesting for Gauntlet of Power. I think it's at the level of the US, and US usually is the biggest market in terms of game sales. So yeah, Chinese, I might go in and do a Chinese version, but I first need to go through the whole game code and make sure all the text can be localized. I have a couple of things that are just hard-coded in there, so it's going to take some time. Besides that, I've never noticed real uptake in sales on Gauntlet of Power. Although the game did better than Regulators, much better, but I'm not sure that's due to localization, because most sales still come from the US and China. So localization, Chinese, could be very interesting and important. All the other languages, sadly, I don't think it's as important as everybody says it is. Okay, that's already, we are at 17 minutes, wow. One more thing, stuff I did, social media, Twitter, Blue Sky, did a lot of posts there, asked people to retweet it, asked people to leave reviews, just kept posting and retweeting, re-exing, reposting and resharing, and also my own stuff. So I constantly try to have that going on. I did some TikTok videos. I know, just I did a couple of videos on TikTok. Plan to do another video this week where I have the trailer at the bottom half, and then I'll be on the top half like you're seeing me now. Talk about what you see in the trailer, a little bit promoting the game even more. Those videos are great because you can actually post on TikTok, Insta stories, Facebook stories, and even on Twitter or Blue Sky you can upload that video. Does it help? I have no idea, but it doesn't hurt. And everybody that notices and sees this game is another potential sale, and that's really where I'm going with it. Also, YouTube streamers, Twitch streamers, YouTubers, gonna reach out to them again, send them a proper Steam key, see if any of them maybe forgot about the game in their mailbox, maybe didn't see it, notice it. Now I can tell them that, look, there are so many positive reviews, it's 100% positive, check it out please. Maybe I'll throw some money at one of them, but I don't know. I think we're done talking about like $1,000 just for a video. Yeah, could be an experiment. If I do that, I'll let you know how that goes. But honestly, not sure if that's, I don't know. It's just one of these things that's still on my idea list, and we'll see. I'm not done with the game just yet, but I am going to be moving on to the next game full time, and then do little fixes and changes. Also, very few bugs were found. A huge thanks to everybody on the Discord for all the beta testing, especially Draathai. That's a very Dutch name. Can't pronounce it in English. Wire Shark? Thread Shark? Whatever. He did a lot of testing, found a lot of bugs, even a few post-launch, and I fixed those as soon as possible. Other than that, nothing. No issues, no problems. A few false positive virus detections. Yeah, that's a thing on the executable, but the executable is a little tool that's a wrapper around my game. It's not built by me. It's not running on my PC. It's not a. It is a known false positive, but it's out of my control. It's part of libgdx. I might have to revert to the old way of packing my games, but so far I think only 2 or maybe 3 people ran into that out of more than 200. So yeah, I have to see how that goes, but it's not really something I can remedy. It's just very annoying. So I think that covers all of the post-launch. If you have any other questions, drop them in the comments below. I think this is going to be one of the last videos about Regulators. Of course, there's going to be a Nintendo Switch version, and there's going to be a mobile version, iOS, Android, but that's all going to be later, 2026 somewhere. Also, just that these Steam numbers aren't extremely high doesn't mean the game is not gonna be profitable, but it's just gonna take a lot longer. I still have a couple of things for the future of this game. Distribution deal left and right, getting it on another couple of marketplaces. The game isn't dead yet. It's just that it's a very slow start, and maybe a couple of YouTubers will pick it up as well. It will increase, and it's not a short-term thing. If you're getting into game development, that's maybe the biggest lesson or tip here. Don't go get into it hoping that you can release a game and make a lot of money. It's a long-term thing. You have to actually be dedicated for it and keep it going, and also plan for it long-term. So know what it can do in the market and know how you can survive around it. Even in bad times, try to figure it out. If you can't, get out of game development. That's actually something I have been thinking about recently, but I don't know yet. I really love creating games for now. So let's hope we can actually make this game a success over time. It's not going to be profitable, but at least break even in maybe 5 years. We'll see. For now, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment below. And haven't told this anywhere, but I launched the game last Wednesday in the afternoon, while in the morning we actually had to take our little Nikki cat to the vet, and she didn't come back. So it was a weird day. It was a lot of emotions in the morning, then a lot of nerves in the afternoon, but I somehow managed to survive. So if you're one of these idle watchers on these YouTube videos, the keyword for today is Nikki. Put it in the comments. Just a little one for Nikki, and I'll see you in next week's video. Bye.